perfect timing, Steve. Hey, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Welcome to the stream and welcome to session 8 of our campaign through Alandressa. Today we are joined by Mars, Tats, Katie, Shen, B, and Steve. How is everybody? Melting? Got enough spoons?
Melt. Melt.
I'm not too
Melt.
I've got maybe a spoon or two left.
Yeah,
hanging
I
in
had
there.
to hold on to my very last spoon so that I could get through the next 2 hours. So I have had a big old sandwich for dinner, and I've had 3 cookies, and the 4th one is waiting for me when I finish.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, lovely. Anyway, I'm hoping that I don't carb crash and just, you know, fall asleep halfway through my opening monologue. But we'll get through it together. So, let's find out what we did last time. In session 7, you fought 2 giant crocodiles. They crashed through the foundations of this old crumbly sewer and brought the supporting walls down, bringing down part of the city with them. The tavern where Friedrich Ratzenberger was still having the snot kicked out of him a whole day later, collapsed into the sewer, and him and a bunch of other commoners fell with. He got gobbled up immediately, and the commoners made a decision check, essentially, on dice to see what dice, there's a word for that, to see whether they would stay and help, and they fled immediately. The rest of you handily took down these giant crocs, but the final blow on one of them was delivered by one of the guards, and that rubbed Ruby and Victor a little bit the wrong way, and the 2 of you pinned one of them against the wall. You happened to say to them, "No, we did that. You didn't do that. We did that." And things got a little bit heated. The guard recognized you as he had fallen from the crime scene of one Sir Curly, who had just been beheaded the day before. Recognized you from the crime scene, started putting 2 and 2 together and making 5, and decided that perhaps it did pay for you guys to be brought in for questioning after all. Ruby, perhaps feeling a little bit triggered from some elements of Ruby's past, chose not to go down the prison line, and instead reached out to a new friend, asking for assistance. The friend, of course, as you will all remember, probably in, through the slits between your fingers, they all shimmered out of existence, and all you heard was the cut short echoes of their screams. Not great. Perhaps not great. But we soldier on, and you are still waist deep, knee deep, foot deep, ankle deep in many cases, in piss and shit. The open city above you has collapsed in on you, and let's say about 11, 12 different guards have just ceased to exist in front of your very eyes. Is there anything in particular that you wish to be doing right now?
Oh my god.
I know Victor immediately fled and just ran around the corner at the end of the last session.
No, that was a joke. That was a joke. I didn't run away.
What just happened?
I second that.
It just disappeared.
What is going on? From the sound of their screams, they didn't just disappear, I don't think.
Well, yeah.
Everybody else heard that, right?
Yeah. I'm just looking around at everybody, seeing if anyone's giving anything away. Can I make an insight on the group?
Of course. Ruby, how much are you trying to hide this? Is this a deception? Or are you going to be open about this?
Never mind, my insight is terrible anyway.
Ruby's might be lower.
Ruby's gonna, Ruby would be deception.
Give me a deception roll. Okay. So you still beat Isabel.
Close. Jeez.
I would say, though, that passive insight is a thing. And 9 does not beat many people's passive insights in this group. I'm not going to go through them all with a fine-tooth comb, but I think Victor having a 13 and being the investigator that you are, and Ash having a 16 on your passive insights, I think that the two of you will pick up that Ruby is not 100% showing their full hand, if that makes sense.
And we didn't hear you say anything to any mysterious
All
No,
inside
it
their
was-
head.
it was internal.
magical entity. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, it was internal.
Cool. Okay.
But you'd still look shifty.
Ruby's just gonna start talking, and basically what she's gonna say is, take a deep breath, and guys, I don't want to stand in this piss any longer than you do. Shall we head out? Quick.
Do we know a way out? It appears that the whole city has collapsed around us.
I mean, you
The
could
guards
climb
got
up
down,
through
let's
the
just follow where
hole.
they came.
Yeah, you could climb up through the hole in the bottom of the crime scene,
Mayor's house.
the mayor's office.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean, I was meaning to take a look around anyway.
Well, I mean, as far as you know,
Okay.
all of the guards in this part of the city have just vanished. So, at the very least, the crime scene will be free to explore,
Alright.
if a little bit fallen into the sewer. So, you know. Is everybody going with the same consensus? Climb out through the hole?
Yep.
Alright,
Yeah,
no
maybe
checks
we just
necessary.
start
We
walking.
move to the city now. This is the hole in the city that you now find. You see that a large section of the office itself has completely fallen through. And you can see that some of the walls have actually fallen out with it. Isabel, you probably have the best view of this. You're right there by the edge of this wall. And you can peek around and see that the body is still there, just minus a head.
They didn't even clear that up already? From yesterday?
So nothing new there, right?
So everything it's still there. So...
Body's still there?
Okay, and the house isn't.
So if you just think about it, in a high fantasy world where there is no such thing as a motor car or a motorway or a freeway, it's going to be difficult for the best investigators in the land to get to places, and they're probably not going to hang out in Dreidel. So they'll probably be sent for from other towns and cities to get to here. And if they've not arrived here yet, they'll probably want to see the crime scene when they do arrive. So it stands to
Can I-
reason that it's not been moved yet.
Can I do an investigation check to see if any other paperwork still exists around?
For free, I can tell you that no, there is no paperwork. The desk that
Okay.
it all was on
It all
is
went
where
down.
you are standing. Yeah, it all fell into the
okay.
sewer, and it's all washed away into the shit and piss of the place. The body is still here. A lot of the woodwork is still here. The doors and the windows, etc.
Does their wound, because I haven't been in this crime scene previously, does the
Yeah.
wound match Big Red's?
Give me an investigation check or a medicine check.
Know which one I prefer. Wait, where's my token? There we go.
Siahi,
Let's
they
go with investigation.
basically
Okay at that.
Ruby
Okay,
deceived
yeah.
the group but didn't do it well enough, and passive
28
insight
total.
has overcome, so they know that Ruby is not being 100%. Yeah, so with a nat 20 on your investigation check and a 28 total, you can tell that this is 100% been done with a similar blow, if not necessarily the same weapon,
Okay.
as if it was the same attacker,
Okay.
or at least somebody trained in the same art, you know?
Yes. So it's kind of a rough, like, hacking, right? If I remember correctly, yeah.
So the other things that you would get with the investigation nat 20 is basically everything. So this guy is on the floor. Doesn't look like there were any struggle. So whatever happened quick, or he was incapacitated before he realized what had happened. since there are no defensive wounds anywhere on his arms or elbows or hands or face or anything. Well, not face, you know what I mean, neck. The clothing that he's wearing is incredibly stained with blood. There is the 4-pointed star brooch that you can see on his chest lapel. Apart from that, he has the usual trappings of finery, you know, silk handkerchief, a pocket watch. It's those kind of things that you would just expect a fancy person to have, especially somebody of business, somebody of high standing as he was. Perhaps not moral standing, but at least capitalist sense. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Got a lot of money.
Okay.
If he can hire out a ship, then he's got a lot of money to him.
Okay.
Doesn't seem to have any on him at the moment. And you may do whatever other checks you want to, and because you got the nat 20 on the investigation, whatever next check you choose to do on his body will be with advantage.
Well, first of all, I'm gonna take his watch.
Cool.
And anything that looks of value, I am going to put, because I know this guy's a bit of a piece of shit now in my head.
Yeah.
I think. So I have no qualms robbing him to help us.
Right. Well, like I say, he
further
doesn't
our
seem like he's got a lot of cash on him, but he does have fine things. So he's got like the silk handkerchief, but that is heavily bloodstained. It's like more of a pocket square kind of a thing in his jacket, and that being so close to his neck would have, soaked it a bit. So it's still good. You'll just have to clean it somehow. The pocket watch has his initials in it, like CS, because his business was the Seven Strand Construction Corporation, so his surname was Strand, Curly Strand. So yeah, he's known as Sir Curly because he's a person of upstanding. You don't know 100% his history, whether he was actually knighted, but if you wanted to do a check on that, then we can see if anybody remembers him or knows much of his history. Isabel, we've actually discussed the fact that the book that you're carrying is potentially something to do with like fairy tales, to see whether you might know Aldrin with a history check of 8. No, you don't really know much about him apart from he a pig man.
Yeah, piggy man.
Piggy man.
He is a pig.
He is a pig. He is an upright humanoid pig. So, Isabel, we didn't really discuss much about what I should have really messaged you this, but we can say it out loud now. Essentially, the way that I'm seeing the book that you're carrying is that it is like, imagine like a fantasy version of Nostradamus, only it pertains to the fairy tale creatures and the fairy tale stories, right? So it's like some kind of predictions and what's the word? Prophecies, only they are of the fairy tales. So they're like, this is a story that will be told in the future, and you'll have to try and figure out whether those make sense in the now. So if you wanted to use the book to try and figure out any of this story, then you could do so, but it would be a high DC, because I'm not just going to give you all of the lore away for free.
Alright, what do I have to roll?
So it would be a history check, and it would be a DC of 20. I believe history is intelligence-based.
I believe I wouldn't get it anyway.
So you would not be able to get it unless you boost it, yeah. Unless somebody else wish to go through your book, but you would need to lend it to them. And discuss the whole thing. So Aldrin's looking through their mind palace, and they come out with Pigman. Big Pigman. Big Pigman sell trees. Yeah, pretty good. Victor, what kind of investigation check or other check are you going to be doing? You remember you get advantage on the next check.
Sure.
If the next check, they've got a brooch. It's a 4-pointed star metal brooch.
Okay. Do I recognize that as a symbol of anything?
Give me a history check and do it with advantage.
Cool.
That's an 18 on the first one.
Give it one of these.
23 on the second. You've not... So you're an investigator. You're a rogue. You're well known for your good eyes. You were recognized by Big Red for doing that. That's why you were sent to the Ice Queen's palace. The thing is, you don't really know a lot of history about this, but in your own history, you remember seeing it. You remember seeing it on door frames, on windowsills, but never frequently. It's not something that people tend to carve into their households, you know? It's not like a symbol of peace or love or tranquility.
Okay.
It seems like something, some kind of a sigil that represents something, but you're not sure quite what. But you do remember seeing it on some of the archways and door frames in this city. And you remember seeing it in Ironfront too.
Right.
So yeah, there are these symbols of the same four-pointed star on door frames and window frames and archways all across different cities, just sporadic, and you're not quite sure what their history is.
Also take that and pocket.
Okay. You also remember that at the back of this office, you remember seeing two sets of footprints. A set of footprints that came, and a set of footprints that left. And the set of footprints that left were small footprints, and they did not return. You also remember that the mayor is not here.
Yes.
Nor have you really asked around about the mayor. So with the 23, the dirty 23, that's like a 19. You've nearly got a nat 20 there anyway. You remember distinctly that you didn't really ask around a lot about the mayor because you were more concerned at the time with Curly and with Arelli.
Yes. Okay. So I'll turn to the group, I guess. And
All right.
do we have a plan?
I'm just going to move your tokens in as well because you're all sort of still stood in piss.
Ruby was going to head to the sea and wanted to wash herself of the piss and wash herself of
Yes.
her crimes.
Perhaps let's go for.
Yeah, I'm not against that stuff.
Sounds like a good
Ruby
idea.
wasn't going to investigate the crime scene. She was going to beeline to wash herself.
Yeah.
She
Remember,
is
there are
there
walls
to-
here. You need to be able to walk around the walls or go through the doors. Otherwise, it won't let you
It's
move
the
them.
mayor's house,
Yeah.
actually, right? Isn't it? Maybe I should. How many stories is the mayor's house?
This is not a house. This is the office. This is their office
just
in
the
town.
office. Everything else has
Yeah.
collapsed. Right. Okay.
It is.
Okay,
It is
that's fine.
essentially a single story. It's all on ground level. There is a roof. There's not much of a ceiling. It's sort of for a city as small and pathetic as this. It's pretty good, but it is still just an office on the edges of town, right by the docks. So it's not exactly flash.
So he can make a fast getaway, but that didn't work. That's why it's by the docks, right?
I'm not giving you the answer.
Um,
You could try and trick me into giving you an answer. I'm not going to answer that. You got to roll for it.
And everybody's already checked through like his desk and stuff, right?
I believe you did already. Yeah, when you first arrived to the crime scene, you looked at the desk.
Yes.
We started to, but then like the guards came in, so I don't think we found out much information.
And the rest of it has washed into the sewers.
Ew.
Of the rest of you, I can see that 3 of you have gone to the sea. Are the other 3 of you going to be washing yourselves off as well, just so that we can be sure who stinks of piss still?
Yeah, we'll go. I think we'll go and have a quick bath in the ocean.
Love that. Right, let me just move you as well, Victor. Then. Okay. So as you all wade into the waters, it's not it's not the best bath that you've ever had, but it's pretty good. It's still it's not like naturally filtered like many springs are with volcanic activity. It's not filtered by the kind of nature that you would see around, like algae and other kind of creatures that might swallow up all the muck and poo out clear water and all of that. No, in fact, this is quite stagnant water. It is quite murky water. It's muddy because there's no natural life to bind it all together, like roots or anything like that. However, you do get a good deal of the piss off. You'll just need a proper wash at some point in a bath for you to completely clean yourselves. You can't really
So we smell like a
rinse
swamp
off.
now instead of piss?
You smell like eau de toilette.
Ugh.
A little perfume joke there for my perfume friends. Right, so where do you all want to head to now? Are you all sticking around and investigating further? Do you have other things on your mind? We've still got a few things to tick off the list. Yeah, you do need to go back to see
Yes,
Merlin.
we do need
You
to.
wanted to go to Linborough Port before the ship got there, so you could intercept and deal with the slave situation.
Maybe
you
Merlin
wanted to
has
ask-
a real tub
I
we could
think we-
borrow.
You did also want to ask Rumpelstiltskin about Jack, famous Jack,
And what his fucking
and-
problem is running away.
and finding the mayor. Yeah. So it really is a matter of priorities. What do you prioritize top, like above all, and what is time critical? So what needs to happen now, and what needs to happen next,
I
basically.
personally think meeting the ship might be a bit more time constrained.
So remember, it would take 2 or 3 days for it to reach Limburg Port, and it's only been
Okay,
one day. So you've got essentially the rest of today to decide how to deal with that, and then probably first light tomorrow you might want to make strides towards getting there.
Sounds to me like we need to go after the fellow who started running. Because when somebody starts running, that means they've got a head start.
Yes. So Rumpelstiltskin or the mayor?
Well,
Do we know which way the mayor went?
you remember
mean,
the
the mayor's been
footsteps going
missing
off
longer.
towards... Yeah, you remember the
Yes.
footsteps going off towards the east, away from the office. So it was from here, and it went off sort of down this way.
Alright.
Alright. I mean, we could try and track his footprints first, and if we reach a dead end, we'll start back at Rumpelstiltskin's shop.
Okay.
Does this work
Yeah,
for everybody?
sounds good to me.
If I wanted to try to track those, what would I need to roll?
I mean, it would be an investigation roll, but it would be specifically for the footprints. Unless anybody wants to give a help action. Remember, I'm not going to remind you to do help actions to give you advantage unless you do it off your own back.
Yes, of course.
I don't prompt anybody. You do it yourself or you don't get it.
I think I'm going to do my own check at
Okay.
the same time. Because
That works.
I have quite high investigation. So if
I'll
anybody
help
else
with-
wants to help somebody else.
I'll help with the footprints.
Okay, who are you helping? You can give Victor a step up if you want. It looks like Victor has the higher bonus.
Was it Ash that wanted to do investigation?
Footprints, to see where they went.
Ash.
Yeah.
Ash was investigating as well. I think I've.
Yeah.
I'm
Victor's got
probably
23
okay
on
to-
footprints.
And I have 10 less.
I will say that if you hit a 25, then I will give you more than what you have at the moment.
Help Victor.
Okay, I'll help Victor.
Quick, everyone cast Bless all at the same time.
I mean, I can cast guidance, but you're kind of far away.
Did you want me
Oh,
to?
yeah.
Do I
Everyone
roll
wades
perception to help?
together through the water.
Is it
Um,
perception I roll?
I'm
Perception.
probably over. I'm probably over here, right?
Perception will tell you what you can see in your given area, and you'll see that
Okay.
there are footprints, but you're not necessarily going to see like
Um,
how fast they were going, which direction they were
Okay,
going in, what
I'll try and
intent they
advantage was
had.
worse. Don't worry.
Advantage
Wow,
was worse.
my bad.
Okay. Well, you're making up for the nat one on the end of the last session, I will say. So you've certainly balanced the scales of the dice Christ. So yeah, I will say that with a 23, you can certainly see that the footprints run over through the dirt towards this point, but then they terminate at the cobble, and you can't really tell where they continue on the cobble. You just know that they hit this corner, and then they end. With a 25, I would have given you the full
Yeah, I will
direction that they
obviously
went
point
in.
that out to the group. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so the prints stop here. Does anybody have any ideas? I mean, are there any doors close by?
Well, there's no door at the backs of these buildings. The tavern that you stood by is sort of half demolished. Oh, this is less the tavern actually. This is more of a greenhouse. The building in front of you. This is what's his name? Rumpelstiltskin's shop. This is still in one piece, but the door you remember is around the front, not around the back, and you don't see any other hatches or grates anywhere down into the sewers. Not that I'm sure you would want to go down there at all at any point. You do see that there's
I
the
have
alleyway, and then around this corner there is another building further down. And
I
there
have
would be
a
doors at
quick
the front
question.
there. Go for it.
Under survival, it says that it can check to follow tracks. Is that animal tracks?
Yeah,
or...
that normally goes for animal tracks. Unless you're like a
Okay.
ranger, yeah, you wouldn't really have the ability to track a person. You sort of like looking for broken twigs and like some crushed berries and droppings and like paw prints left in the muck so that you can recognize exactly what animal it is. A survival check wouldn't necessarily be the feet of one small biped running through some dirt. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I just wanted to
yeah.
verify, that's all.
You're all good. You're all good. Plus, investigation doesn't just deal with the where does it go, it also deals with the context of it. So with a higher investigation, you'll be able to get more from your check than if you just did survival check alone. Similarly with perception.
A quick reminder, since we're out of battle and out of that field of extra HP, remove your extra HP. I just had to remove mine.
Oh, the temp HP?
Yeah.
I lost mine anyway.
Okay, so yeah, you've got two alleyways basically. You've got the way back here, which leads into the sewers. You've got the alleyway directly in front of you, Victor, and then you've got another alleyway down here, which leads towards a different building.
Okay. We didn't see him in the shop, so I think the best place to check
He would be down here.
Further down.
I think maybe this place further, yeah.
The other thing that I will say is, I didn't mention it before, but a lot of the commoners in this area have... I've neglected to move one of them, I've just moved them. A lot of the commoners in this area, hearing a part of their city collapse, have started to move over and gawk at the hole. So you've got a lot of people that are all just stood around the hole staring down into it. But they're at the other end of town. So you're all coming down towards this building, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Okay. There's no windows on the side of it. You can tell by the thick wooden beams and the sort of rustic construction of it, as well as a lot of the dust and sort of debris that's littering around the doors at the front. You've got two doors down here at the alleyway, and then you've got more doors down here at the very front of the building. This is the side of the building that you're all huddled against. You can tell that this is either a construction building or a mine or a warehouse. It's some building of that kind of nature. You'll get more if you walk around the front of the building.
Is it
Underground
time?
again.
Is it underground? No. Oh, you've got a wall in your way, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
That'll be why you're not
We
moving.
can't go this way.
You can now. You should be able to.
Nope. Oh, wait, yep.
There's no doors or anything on the back, no?
No doors on the back.
Okay.
Good. These are doors, so.
Can I move that over?
Is it melt time, though?
There you go. Oh, didn't want to do that. Is it melt time?
Yeah, time to melt?
These are wooden doors. You can certainly try to melt wood. It is technically possible in the laws of physics. I won't say that it's 100% likely now. Also, you don't really see that there is much in the way of a lock on these.
I'm not sure
Can I
that's
just-
necessary right now.
Can I just knock on it?
You can knock on it, yeah. As you knock, you feel the wood sort of give, and the door just sort of swings inwards a little bit. There's nobody in there. It looks like they've left to go and have a look at the hole in the ground. Anybody who wants to can do any check that they wish to at this point. A 10 perception for Ash.
Wow, I rolled so bad.
17 perception for Isabel. 22 acrobatics for Ruby. Ruby's, what, climbing the wall?
He said do any check I wanted to.
Do any
so
check
I
you want
went
to?
do an
Okay.
acrobatic.
All right, so Ash and Aldrin are sort of looking around dumbfounded at this wooden building. Isabel can see that there is a 4-pointed star on the door frame, and Ruby in the background just does a sick backflip.
Perfect.
Briar, Briar with a perception check of 22. You see that there is, now that you've opened the door, you can see that there is the distinct carving of the four-pointed star on the door frame, but also directly in front of you on the lead up to this pit.
Oh, look, underground again.
Has anybody gone in yet? Or you just stood at the open doors?
It
Yeah, I've
looks
got
like a few of you
Uh,
have, yeah.
Inside.
Yeah,
Okay.
looks like a few of you
inside in
have.
the corner.
That's okay. I will
I'm blocking the door. Excuse me.
Yeah.
follow inside then.
Cool. The
I
grid
was
lines
gonna check
don't
for traps,
follow
but if people have
the
already got
walls for some reason.
on,
Yeah.
then
I think is your stream slightly delayed?
My stream?
Hmm.
What, on Twitch?
Yeah,
Or why?
because I moved my token quite a good few seconds before it moved on the.
There's
That's-
always a
that's
delay
normal.
with
That's normal.
with streaming.
Okay.
It's also a delay between. So there's already a 6-second delay minimum on between what I see and what actually happens for you on Twitch. But then there is
Okay.
also a delay between you and me, just on the platform itself, Foundry, because Foundry doesn't necessarily do it automatically. So I see your cursor move and then I see your character move after. Now, Raya, as you have seen this on the sort of wooden surround of this deep pit here, I will give you an Arcana check if you wish, because you've gotten so high on your perception check of 22. Arcana of 19. You've seen constructions like this before. You can see that there are other carvings in this and sigils in this. It looks different to the ones that you've seen before on other teleportation circles, but this is certainly one of them. It just looks like it's made in a different way or directs to a different location. But it has that four-pointed star, the same as the brooch, and you remember seeing that when you did the medicine check on Sir Curly.
Okay, I'll just relay that to the group then.
Cool.
Okay. This is teleportation circle.
Interesting. Is there a pebble nearby?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. It's a mine.
So I'm just gonna grab a pebble and toss it into the hole.
Okay. Give me an athletics check. Let's see how well you can lob this pebble. I want to see if you
Lord.
do any damage. A nat 20.
Let's go.
You
Let's go.
throw it, and
my
this
God.
pebble hits one of the rocks on the side and completely shears off the rock wall. And you see that there is a big vein of gold ore that just happens to be there directly in front of you, just in the wall.
Is it
Nothing
Ruby's time to
teleports.
punch?
Time to punch.
Somebody-
Ruby
You have
wants to check if
a
she's stood
hammer?
next to some TNT first.
You are stood
What's
next
this-
to
what's
TNT,
this-
yes.
Okay, I want the TNT.
You okay?
Uh-oh.
Roll 1d4 plus 1 to see how many sticks of TNT there are.
Is it R slash or slash R?
Slash R. It's always slash R.
1d4.
1d4 plus 1, yeah. Let's see how many sticks of TNT you can get. 5 sticks of
Hey,
dynamite.
Let's go.
Ruby has
Oh,
pocketed
the
5 sticks of
TNT.
dynamite.
I don't
Okay.
need to consult my book to know there's blowing up in the future.
I might mention, though, that I don't think a teleportation circle would work particularly well if exploded. So just
No.
to give you
want
that
the
forewarning.
TNT. I want the TNT.
Let the kitty have her TNT.
I want the TNT. I need the TNT. Give me the TNT.
I'm putting 5 TNT in my pack. Thank you. That is mine.
Yes, I'm putting you on red. I've got TNT, bitch.
Oh, no.
I've
Yeah,
got
it's
Okay.
Is the gold
TNT.
vein reachable? And is there
Yeah.
a pickaxe nearby?
You could drop down in there if you wanted. And there are certainly pickaxes around. There's one sort of on the side. You
flip.
could just
I'm
grab
gonna
it.
grab a pickaxe and drop
Great.
down in there and see if
You-
I can bonk some gold out of the wall.
So you don't teleport anywhere. You just land at the base of this pit, which is probably about, I don't know, 10 feet down. So you don't take any fall damage, but it's certainly, you can feel your ankles start to go when you drop. Thankfully, you hold on to it pretty good. and give me an attack roll against this rock. You just have to beat 10.
Would
A
you
DC
like
of
some
10.
help?
Can
Can I give a help action on the attack?
You could like point out some spots on the wall that might be particularly good to aim for. Yeah. I
Would
might
that
need you
be
to
an
roll for it
attack?
first, though, Ruby. Give me a perception check to see if you can figure out where the cracks are that are the best ones to aim.
Perception check. Shall I just climb down there first?
Go for it. And give me a perception check, DC 15. See whether you can tell with a rock wall that you're not particularly
Cool.
au fait with gold, but you've dealt with
Yeah,
breaking
never
rocks
mind.
apart before. Well, you're good at breaking rocks apart, but you don't normally look for the cracks for where the gold's
Oh.
going to be.
That's not right, is it?
Hit the rock, Aldrin. Hit the rock.
Hit rock. Hit rock. Melt. Melt.
Rock.
Well, you're not proficient in pickaxe, so we can't add your proficiency bonus onto that. So it is still a flat 6, unfortunately. But there is gold here. There's gold in them there hills and in these pits. But neither you nor Ruby teleported when you dropped into this teleportation circle.
Ruby, would you like to try and hit this? I think you might have a better time of it.
While you
Why
do
not?
that check, Ruby, give me an attack roll against it. You are proficient in unarmed strike, so just do a punch. Does any of the other
Just do a
crew
punch.
want to do anything in particular to deal with the teleportation circle?
Can I do a check on it too?
Yeah? What kind of check?
Um,
You hit the damage.
Could it be a religion check just to kind of see if I can't tell?
Oh,
if
you could do a
it's
religion check.
Oh,
Oh, nat 20 religion. Oof.
yeah,
Holy.
let's go.
You guys are getting the nat 20s today. You're really pulling yourselves out of this rut. Okay. What kind of deity or faith or like area of the world are you drawing on when you consider this religion check? What area
just
of
the
your mind
circle-
and faith are you heading towards?
Well, since I'm Circle of the Stars, nature bound, I want to kind of harness that power in my mind and try to figure out what this could be.
Okay. I'm just going to roll a 1d6. You get 1 chunk of gold out of this from your attack damage of 5, which feels appropriate for only 5 damage, but you get it. So yeah, that's what you get out of that. You're welcome to climb back out of the pit. It looks like with the punch that you've done, it's shaken a lot of the other rocks loose and covered up this vein of gold, unfortunately.
I want to
Is it
give
just-
the I want to pick up the chunk of
Sorry.
gold and give it to Aldrin, please.
Okay.
Oh,
Aldrin, you
thank
now
you.
have a large chunk of gold in your hands. Probably about the size of a tangerine.
Woohoo! Check this
Um,
out.
It's pretty big. It's pretty big. Ash doing the nat 20 religion check and trying to draw on nature. The nature realm of this doesn't seem to fit. Doesn't feel like this has a lot to do with nature. In fact, it feels quite unnatural. It feels like there's something about this that holds a different energy. Not the kind of spiritual energy of the wilds or of creation or of animals or spirit. In fact, it feels quite cold, like it was created for a purpose and a purpose it has served. But you don't really know much more than that beyond the religion side of things. Because you've got that nat 20, I will allow your next roll to be with advantage, whatever you want to do. So that could be an arcana, or it could be a history, or it could be an investigation. Whatever in
I guess I'll
particular
do
you want to go for.
Arcana.
And again
And
with
then-
advantage, so you get it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh.
Okay. So with the 14, you don't really know 100% what this is all about. You just know that it is a teleportation circle. You know that there are runes around it, and they are unusual runes. And you have also spotted that there is the 4-pointed star in amongst these sigils.
Have these sigils
Okay,
been
so-
pointed out to Aldrin?
I think that's up to Briar and Ash. Do either of you, are you open about this?
Yeah, I think I would be like, this teleportation sigil thingy is not natural. It feels very cold, and it feels like it's done what it needs to do. And then there's these weird runes. Does anyone know what these are? And that's me pointing it out.
I don't know much more than you.
Victor, you certainly remember seeing the four-pointed star around different cities. You certainly remember it in Ironfront and Dreidel. You couldn't really point out from your memory where else you've seen it, but you've seen it around. It's sporadic, but it certainly stuck out in your mind as an unusual symbol compared to the rest of the sort of thieves' cant that you see around.
But I don't recognize any of the
This is not
symbols
something that you
as
would
thieves'
recognize
cant.
as thieves' cant. No.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'll kind of think I would have shared that when I found the four-pointed star, the bit of information a little earlier anyway.
Cool.
It's none of the
I've
languages
seen
I
that
would know.
around, but
I think that there's really one thing that you're all missing from this equation, and I want to give it to you, but you're gonna need to get it in a roll. So if you're gonna discuss this, then discuss it, and maybe start trying to puzzle things out and figure it out on your own. If you do figure it out on your own, I'll tell you that you've done it. If you don't do it, then we're gonna need to roll for it, and you're gonna need to look for these things.
Sure.
Uh,
Sorry. I'm stood over. Is this a desk?
Kind of, yeah. It's sort of like it's got just like the veins and tunnels of the mine shaft there. It's like the foreman's desk. If a foreman could ever be said to have a desk, they tend to just walk around with clipboards, really, don't they? Because their job is more
goes
investigation.
into a tunnel.
Yeah. It goes down and it sort of goes across and then down further.
Okay,
You would never have just one sheer drop near the top because you could easily just fall out. Without any railings, you would just fall to your death.
Okay, well, I'm
and
gonna
even
root
in
around
D&D,
the
you're not going to get
desk.
revived.
Just to kind of check for like my standard like pat down of a desk, looking
cool.
for information and like little hidden compartments and stuff.
Yeah, wicked.
Gross.
No hidden compartments. It's just a simple piece of wood, basically nailed to some other pieces of wood. It serves a function to hold the guy's clipboard when he's not walking around the mines with it. Foremen tend to be they're like inspectors. They're always on the move. They're looking around the place. They're making sure that everything is safe and above board and stuff. Like, even back in the past, they used to use beams. They had people to inspect things. It was still an important part of the job to make sure that it was safe. People didn't just go down into a mine and start wailing on a wall. You know what I mean? So this guy he's not sedentary. He's using his clipboard. He's getting up and he's moving around. He's just not here right now. And this desk just tends to be the place where he hangs his shit.
I will roll up the map of the veins and such in the mine and just pop that in the map.
Wicked.
In case we decide to go down there or end up falling into the core of the earth again or anything like that.
Well, if at any point you go down into the mine, then at that point I'll give you details about it. But until then, I'm not gonna back myself into a continuity. I don't want to ruin the continuity now by saying, oh, there's 3, and then in the future go, oh, there's 4. Yeah.
No,
so
cool.
you get that map in your pocket. Ruby's got 5 sticks of dynamite in their pocket. You all smell vaguely of piss. Aldrin's got a tangerine-sized chunk of gold. This is a pretty successful start to a session so far, but where are you going to go from here? Discuss.
Is this the only room in the building?
Yes. As far as you can tell, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
cool.
the outside walls match the inside walls, and there is a hole in the middle of the room.
That's fine. Cool. Okay.
Is this a shovel over here?
Yes.
Looks like it.
Can I take that with me and then make my way down the shaft?
You can go down the shaft if you want.
Okay. I'm going in, guys.
So you drop down. You do not teleport as you go through the teleportation circle.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Sorry, has someone
Do you
mentioned?
think something has to activate this circle?
Yes. I was either thinking that or perhaps it's to protect from something coming up.
I feel like it's already served its purpose.
You mean like somebody's put an end to its function?
I mean, whatever it was designed for has already been done.
I
don't know
would
if
say
maybe that's...
what I gave you with the religion check was not that. So you're inferring that part of it. I said that it was made to serve a purpose. I've not said
Oh,
whether
I
that
thought you
service.
said that
I've
the
not said
service-
whether it has been
Perhaps
fulfilled
it's
or not.
for
No.
summoning something, or
Is
maybe
it to bring
that's
something here or to
maybe-
send something somewhere else?
maybe that's what collapsed the city.
Seems like maybe something's trying to be brought
Um,
here if damage is happening here.
Can I check if like on the sigils if there's any kind of like signs that they've been like used, like burnt, like or something like that? I don't know how
If you want, you can do an Arcana check. Anybody that
they'd
wants to
work in
help
that
can
sense, but
give
I
the
don't know
help
if they
action, of
leave behind, like a
course.
residue if they've like.
I would help.
Okay, Aldrin's going to give you the help action.
I'm gonna
Aldrin,
come
just
over and give you guidance.
I'll need it. Oh, I'm glad
Aldrin, if
said
you hit an Arcana check of 12, DC 12, then this. Okay, so you take the first one instead, then Victor. Unless Ash can do the same. You're going to give
I was
guidance,
giving
so you're going to give a
guidance.
D4. Okay. Well, we can't stack advantage, so we're not going to go with that then. So we'll go with the D4. So you can add a D4 to this then, and you get that on top of the 7. Let's just hope for a 3 or more, and you might get something. A 3!
Hey.
It seems like these are not... These sigils are carved into wood. They are not painted on in material. It's not the kind of thing where it would burn away. It's the kind of thing that would be kept here permanently. And you've seen these before on two-way teleportation circles. They exist in all cities. They're for the elites to be able to move back and forth, etc.
Right. So it is definitely a teleportation circle
Yes.
that we know.
Ruby just wants to do. So obviously we all see that there's these sigils on the side, or if you've not specifically investigated them, do we not know about them yet?
I
Just
mean,
checking how public that knowledge is.
so what I will say is that you've had some discussion, but most of this has been all aimed at me instead of discussing it between each other. I'm going to infer that. Yeah, I'm just going to guess that everything that you're asking me about and that I've told you back about, that you're just sharing with everybody else. So I'm going to cast the spell Exposition, and everybody gets the expo here. You all know what everybody else knows up to this point. If you want to share it in future, you need to talk about it. Because otherwise you're just asking me, can I check this, can I check this, can I check this, and it's all just dice rolls. And then it gets a bit boring.
Yeah, I think we were kind of stood an hour in, and now we've just shared all of that, yeah.
There you go. So
Cool.
you've
On
shared it
that
all,
note-
and you
on
can
that
see
note-
Do
those
we have
things.
paper? Or is there paper on the desk?
It's the map, and Victor has taken it.
I have picked up a map from the desk.
Only the
if
map.
we wish to go into the mines, we will have a better chance of finding our way around.
Yes.
Okay.
I have
thinking of trying to trace the sigils.
I was going to
Oh.
suggest we
Merlin.
either stand in a 5-pointed star, or we potentially draw the sigil on the ground around
I
the tunnel.
also have this brooch. I don't particularly want to jump through this teleportation circle holding it to see if it takes me somewhere else alone. But don't know
What if we all held on
this
to you
thing-
and jumped together?
Do you think perhaps that
Would
might
that work?
Guys, it's really dark down here.
I told you that I would give it to you when you figured it out, and you figured it out. There are teleportation circles, and they need to be maintained. So the workers that work on these things, they need to be able to walk on either side of it to do their job. And if they're constantly teleporting backwards and forwards between two different planes of existence, it's not going to be very good for them, is it? So they tend to use keys or brooches or little items that they carry with them that usually help them to go through those places. It also stops the riffraff and the common folk from using these things, because it's an elite thing. You, if you're rich, you get to go to these places quick. If you're poor, walk.
Poor at the moment.
So yes,
No, you just picked up
Victor,
gold.
I think with all of these checks combined, you have collectively come to the conclusion that yes, Victor is absolutely right. This brooch, this 4-pointed star, is the key to going through this teleportation circle.
Well, you need to not be in the hole first.
Okay, can I come back out, please?
Let's
Yeah, of
get
course.
you out of there.
So, Victor, I guess we're all getting a piece of you and jumping down.
Are we going now?
Wait, we're hurting Victor to take pieces off of him? Why are we doing that?
Yes, please don't.
No, just hold on to him. And then
Oh,
we all hop
um,
together into the hole while he's holding on to the brooch. Or maybe we all need to hold on to the
I
brooch.
love this. I love this dynamic of like 4 autistic people and an anxious one, anxious woman.
Okay, well, you said take a piece of him,
So
and
fucking
that
great.
means something
How about-
completely different in
yes.
nature.
How about I pin this brooch onto my jacket for now, and then I have 2 hands to hold hands with 2 of you, and then those 2 people hold hands with 2 more.
But would we all need to be
That's
touching
all
the
of us?
brooch?
Or we could touch it like portkey style.
What about bet you give someone a piggyback?
Okay, then everybody hold the brooch while we jump. I guess.
Eh,
Come on, I can do a flip.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Give me another
everybody-
acrobatics check, Ruby.
Hold on to each other as well. Just in case.
24, an even better backflip than before. That's amazing.
And somehow she
Double-
managed to
double
take all of
pike.
us.
Yeah. Here, Ruby, you
that's
do
what
a
you
full
need to do.
backflip.
You're balancing on
Yeah.
top. Balancing on top of the brooch with your fingertip.
Absolutely. So you all gather together, you grab hold, and you jump into the hole.
Sure. Whoa!
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes.
Yes.
You all
yes.
appear in a new place entirely. You hop out on the other end in a beautiful marble building. It is shaped and pointed at the 4 corners. There are windows, there are archways, and outside through these windows and archways, and at the doorways of them, you can see that there are lush greens that are spilling through, that are climbing up the walls here. There is a fountain here. There is a large table in the center filled with food, breads, cheeses, mugs of ale, and water, and juices.
I was about to steal this cheese.
You can see that there are 4 very luxurious chairs here. There's 4 chests in the corner. And the actual island itself, if you look out through the doors and archways and windows, you can see that the whole area itself is a 4-pointed star island. On the southeast corner, there is an enormous, what you might call a Viking horn, if that's the easiest way to describe it. Just makes sense to call it that, I guess, just for the descriptor. But yeah, on the southeast corner, you can see that through one of the archways. You also see that there are large tentacles coming out of the water as well. But yeah, lush greenery, beautiful place. And yeah, you are stood here, and there's a big silver chest on the right side, and you have all popped out of this big old square here. Anybody who wants to can do any check you want. Just tell me why and what for.
Perception
Ruby's-
for danger.
Yeah, what? Right, Ruby, are you in the fountain?
Perception
Yeah,
check for
Ruby's doing no
danger.
checks. Ruby does not want a smell of disgusting water. Ruby wants the smell of nice water, so she's beelined for the fountain.
What are you thinking of when you get into the fountain?
Washing myself.
The water that spills out becomes soapy water.
Oh, not again.
Beautiful, like
Ruby
clear,
is having the best bath ever. Ruby is just enjoying
just
life.
scrubbing every angle. Why is everybody doing these checks? Tell me.
Oh, I told you I did perception to make sure there's like nobody here.
With a 12, you're pretty sure that there's nobody here.
Okay, cool.
Aldrin's pocketing all the cheese that they can.
Okay. I mean, it really comes down to what space you have to put it. More than it does about other people seeing you. Because as your passive perception could tell you that there's nobody here, as well as Ash's active perception check. And then, of course, you just got a room full of cheese, so you can do as much as you like.
Yep.
Should we say you can
pocketing
fit
a bunch of cheese?
Should we say that with your we don't really do encumberment here, or you know, like pack size so much, but I would say that we can limit it to 2 large wheels of cheese, right? So you've got a chunk of
That's
gold
exactly what
and
I had
two
in
big
mind.
wheels of cheese. I think that's probably what you can fit into a backpack.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Can I do something actually
Aldrin's
about the
then
cheese?
also gonna take a bath.
Yeah, so Aldrin climbs in, thinks of soap again, and you get a bunch of soapy water coming out. Ruby, you said you wanted to do something.
Yeah, it's about the cheese. Could Ruby do a perception or history check on the cheese to see if the cheese is familiar?
Sure.
Which one do you suggest, given her background?
Either or. Could do an investigation if you like.
Oh,
Because, like, history would be more of like,
never
does
mind.
cheese exist
you
and
did
where
so
is it
good.
from, you know? Investigation check of 2. Yeah, this is definitely cheese. But you aren't quite certain what kind.
Yeah, you need to roll good
Darn
in
it.
it.
Oh. I feel like I need to give you like disadvantage on your next roll for that joke.
Psychic damage.
I felt bad for doing that last time. Okay. Right. So you've got what you've got so far. Anybody else doing any other checks? Isabel, you've walked over to this large silver chest.
I mean, I want to investigate this, but I don't know if this is somewhere we want to nick treasure from.
Yes,
You can give me a perception or an investigation
I was
or
going to
whatever you want to
come
do.
to assist with that.
Okay, so Isabel's going to get this with
I
advantage.
think.
What are
Okay,
you doing in particular? Are you investigating? Are you...
I mean, my perception's better, but my investigation that's more
Don,
like.
don't encourage Steve. He doesn't need any encouragement.
I'll go
can
for
you-
investigation. This is with advantage,
You can
isn't
do an
it?
investigation with advantage. Yeah, sure.
How do I
It's
do
already
that?
good. The 17. With the 17, the books that you've read, you've gone... Oh, for fuck's sake, you're all doing this.
What?
I disagree. Right, that's 2 of you with disadvantage now.
Sorry.
Sorry, I continued it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. With the books that you've read before, Isabel, you've got a noted history on history in general. The gods that inhabit this world are gods, but they are also real, and they walk around and people see them and talk to them and they have real lives. So it's not so far out of the ideas that you might just find something in a book about something with, of this nature. You see this chest has a symbols relating to Loki all around it in sort of runes of a Norse-ish kind of nature.
Guys, this is a god's chest, pretty much. I'm not. It's low key locked.
Do we want to be opening a god's chest?
I only investigated it at the hand, and I haven't opened it yet.
Thank God.
With a passive perception, you would still be able to tell that there is no visible seam or hinge as to how this thing opens.
Can I smash?
Briar taking a seat on the chair. Is there anything that Briar's doing in particular in this area?
I think Briar's just gonna be looking at her notes, journals right now, kind of relaxing in this chair.
Right.
Does the chest respond to me, like holding the brooch close to it if I kind of gently, run it around the edges, around over the surface without touching it?
Yeah.
Just close to it. Does it do anything weird and magical? Because it worked on the teleportation circle, so I'm just checking, just in case.
There are many symbols on this chest, and often these symbols refer to magical protection and sigils and runes and, barriers of that kind of nature, and you can tell those just by looking at them. You've seen enough magic in this world to know what a magic rune looks like. With Isabel's assistance and with you helping Isabel through it, you've also been able to figure out which of these pertain to the gods themselves, and particularly Loki. There are, however, 4 symbols on this which match the 4-pointed star, and one of these starts to light up as you lift it close.
I'll turn
Well,
to
I'm not touching that.
the other two. Do you think
I'm
I
not.
should try to open it?
I'm under the understanding don't mess with God stuff. Meh.
Is anybody else doing any other kind of check, by the way?
I'm not touching that chest at all.
You don't need to do it about the chest, just about the room in general, or the outside of the room, or the other things in
I
the
will
room.
happily help someone do an Arcana type check, but there's no point me doing it. I have +0, but I'll help someone.
I've got -1, so.
Okay.
I have +2 on Arcana if you want to help.
I'll
Right.
give you the help action for Arcana.
Okay. Well, I would say that Aldrin's just rolled a 13, which would help to give somebody else the help action. So Aldrin could give the help action to Ash, I guess, if you want. So then Ash, you can do it with advantage. That's a 4.
Oh my god.
And that's a
Oh
6.
god, never mind.
So Aldrin gets better helping you than you do rolling. This is like a teacher trying to teach a student that's just not quite getting it. Aldrin, you've got this natural knack for sorcery and magic itself. It runs through you. You are, after all, born with magic. You are of magic rather than learning it to get there. Ash, on the other hand, you're more druid, nature-focused. This isn't really your area. You're surrounded by nature, of course, at the moment. Doesn't really maybe have much to do with this right now. What in particular were you investigating when you did your Arcana check, please?
Me or Ash?
Either or.
Me,
What were you looking for?
I was trying to just do an Arcana check on the room.
Okay.
And see about the area.
So with a 13, I'll give you the fact that a lot of the items in this room are magic.
Is it overwhelmingly so, or more like distinctly there's items in here?
I would say if you'd gotten 15 or above, I would say the level of which the
Okay.
power is. But for a 13, you're really just going for basic level information. And that's
Okay.
just, there is magic in this room. It comes from almost everything. And it exists. But you won't
Alright.
get School of Magic and you won't get Intensity.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to do perception check, investigation check, anything of that nature?
I do have a question real quick. It says that I know Celestial, so would I
Yeah.
be able to read any runes that are on that one chest? Since you said it's
If
like a
there
god
are
chest?
celestial runes on there, then you might be able to.
I also have comprehend languages, if that
Okay.
would help.
You could use it if you wanted. Is
So
anybody
you're-
else doing anything else in this room?
So, in the teleportation room, you said that Briar had prior knowledge of that 4-pointed star.
Right.
Walk up to the chest.
What I actually had said is that you have prior knowledge of the fact that these teleportation circles exist, but that this is a different formation, and it seems like the difference here is the 4-pointed star, among a few other things.
Okay, so
Just
I
to be
don't
clear.
have any prior knowledge of that symbol.
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Can I do an Arcana check anyways?
Sure. Yeah. 22.
So,
Okay. So you know that there is a lot of different schools of magic here, almost as many as there are that exist. You can tell that this chest is incredibly powerful. You can tell that this chest is sort of legend/myth level power. You can tell that the key here is in having 4 brooches. That this is just one of the sort of subroutine kind of things, if you could imagine this as being like a password situation. This is like one of 4 passwords to open an incredibly powerful chest with something inside of it. You don't know what. You only know that it has something to do with Loki based on the writing on the front.
Okay, so as I kneel down and place my hand on the chest and kind of all of this information comes to me, I'll look at the rest of the people huddled around and I'll say that this is only one of 4 and we're going to need to find the other stars.
Yeah.
Pointed
So
stars. Open.
as Briar explains that, Aldrin is placing their hand on the chest. Is that right? Because comprehend languages, you need to touch something in order to comprehend the text, and you need to hold on to it for a minute.
1 minute. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So you touch it, and you immediately start feeling your skin melt. This is a powerful warning spell to stop people touching this stuff.
Untouching.
So for you to hold on to this for a full minute, you will start taking damage, and you may go incapacitated before you finish.
Okay.
Can you remove your hand?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if, like, when it started to melt, you were, like, stuck to it.
It's sort of that kind of feeling of having your hand in a hot furnace. You instantly feel that sharp pain, or like it's almost like a rush of cold at first that sort of unnerves you because it feels cold. But why should it feel cold? You know in your brain that this is hot.
Aldrin will
and
try
then you
and
immediately
hold out
feel
for
that
the
sudden
minute.
rush of heat, like a split second afterwards.
So it is trapped.
Aldrin's gonna try and hold out for the minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Is anybody else going to look around the room or go outside and look at the island? Anybody wanting to do a perception check on any of those areas?
I kind of want to look at what the tentacles might be through the door.
Okay.
I think I'm staying with the chest because this seems like my kind of thing that I would obsess over.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to stay and try to help decipher anything that I may.
Yeah.
What sort of a checkout would I need for these to look at what these tentacles are?
I guess that would be history or nature.
And then, what kind of check for Aldrin trying to hold on for a minute?
It will basically just be how much HP you have. You'll take damage every time you have your hand on it, and it will go in round-based thing. We'll do it by round. So that would be 10 rounds, and you would have to hold on for a full 10 rounds without dying. Nature check 16. You've read about this. You've seen this drawn. This is a kraken.
I am going back inside.
Okay. Good decision, I think. Good decision. It doesn't look particularly aggressive at the moment. It's just chilling, but it's got its tentacles wrapped around this entire island, so it must be pretty big. And you also don't see all of the tentacles from where you are. Even looking out of the windows, you can only see 5 of them. So yeah, you don't know what the rest are doing. Anybody else wanting to do any kind of checks on the island itself? Or anything else within the room?
These over here. I want to see if I can maybe see like the 4-pointed star logo to open these just in case.
There's one on the front of each one of them.
Oh. I am going to relay that information to Victor since he's holding the brooch.
Then I will check that our friend in pain is okay for a moment.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
Okay. Just holler if you need. And I will join Ash over with the other chests.
Okay.
I know I just came in, but I kind of want to see what that horn's about.
Okay. So you're going back outside?
Yeah.
Do you want to give me a perception check from here? Or do you want to go close up and do it there? You do it from here, it's with disadvantage. If you do it up close, it's flat.
I'm going to walk very carefully towards it a little bit.
Okay. Any checks that Ruby is making? Ruby's not really done much but wash.
Yeah.
Investigation or perception or arcana?
Gonna head out with, basically planning on heading out with Isabel to also check out the horn.
Okay.
So whether she does her own investigation or just as a help action,
yeah,
that's fine.
Okay.
I'll accept help with investigation because I'm -1.
All right.
Does that mean I get it with? Does that mean I get it with advantage, or we just both roll?
So no, if you are so to get the help action, you're going to need Ruby to roll a 12.
Okay.
That's a 10.
Never mind.
So you're getting it flat. So there's no advantage on this. You're still getting it flat, but it would be either investigation or history or religion, whatever one of those you want to pick.
Okay, I'm trying to figure. Okay, they're all -1. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Investigate. Dang it.
All right.
It's
It's a
very
big
pretty
horn.
hall.
It's a very
big
big
horn.
horn. Yeah, it's a big horn. It's about
Blow
30
into
feet
it.
long.
Can I blow
Speak
into it?
You can blow into it. Yeah, sure.
Okay, I don't know what I need to roll for blowing into it.
Well, I guess it would be athletics because you
Roll
need
for
to use
lungs.
your lung. Is Ruby just doing another backflip? You can't just keep doing backflips, Ruby. Acrobatics of
Sorry,
16.
I heard do another check and then I just clicked.
Ruby's
It's
just doing
reflex.
backflips over and over again. Is this your like nervous thing to? Is this is like your tick when you're deceiving your friends? This is what you do. You just start doing backflips.
I think
I
so.
just like the
I
idea. I like the idea her fur feels really like staticky right now, and it just keeps like jolting her to a backflip.
That's great.
I got a good check for the blowing the horn, I believe.
You got a 22, which is pretty fucking good. Unfortunately, it's not 25, which is what was needed to blow this horn real good.
So I'm just doing the wet fart noise.
Yeah. The width of the neck of this horn is about a foot across. For somebody to blow into it with a normal-sized humanoid mouth, you would need to really be able to stretch your mouth wide around that, or you would need to figure out some way to blow so hard that just by the power of your lungs themselves, you are able to blow this. This thing is fucking huge. There's no way that you're just going to blow through it and it just suddenly sound. This is clearly designed for something or someone to use.
Alright, who do know it's got a big mouth?
I don't want anybody to fall out with anyone over that one.
That's why I'm not naming anybody.
No. So you're still outside. Let's go back to Ash and Victor. What are you doing with the chests here?
So I just pointed out that they all have the sigil, and I'm gonna let Victor choose since he has a brooch.
Mm-hmm.
So we're trying to unlock them with this.
You've got
I don't know.
yeah. So you've got the
I'm
4-pointed
scared.
star, and as you
Yeah,
approach
I'm
these
also a little
chests,
nervous.
Yeah, I don't want the
I-
brooch to be stuck in it.
as you approach the chests, one of them starts to light up.
Which one? This one, okay. I will quickly scan it to see if it is booby trapped, if I may, having
Go
seen
for
that
it.
the other chest was trapped.
You may give me a perception and an investigation check.
Oh, both. Oh, I still have proficiency on my. Oh, it's still there. Sorry, I was looking at my performance. So my perception is not bad. Okay, followed by investigation, which is exactly the same.
19 and 19.
Yes.
Compared with Ash's 18 and 11. So Ash is certainly the sidekick in this detective comedy. Victor is definitely the one that's figuring shit out. So Ash, you look at these things and you're like, huh, chests. Huh, crazy. The crazy things that these magic guys will come up with next. Imagine a chest. This is wild. Investigation of 11. Oh my god. Could you believe that people would keep things in these? I wonder if there are things inside of these as well. That would be so crazy. Victor,
That'd be wild.
Victor, you see with two 19s. I mean, that's essentially one nat 20 in my books because that's like one below a nat 20 twice. That's pretty difficult to hit. So let's just go with giving you a good amount of information, but not all of the information. You may know either nature of chests or you may know nature of lock. I will give you one of those and you will get all of the information. Whichever one you don't pick, I'll give you a bit.
So,
Nature of chests or nature of lock.
I think the lock is probably more important because once I figure the lock out, I can look inside the chest.
Okay. Without touching this chest, you bring it close and you hear a clasp unlatch inside of it. It opens by about an inch and then just sits there untouched. You can see that the other ones around you are not doing that. And with your perception, you can see that, in fact, they are unusually still.
Can I grab a baguette to try to open it? Because
Can you
baguettes
grab
are
a
hard.
baguette?
Use my sword.
Of all the things to choose, you have weapons, and you pick a baguette. I mean, to be fair, that's pretty normal for an investigative sidekick that's doing as well as you have. Okay, yeah.
Look,
Grab a
I don't know if
baguette.
it's gonna hurt my quarterstaff, so I just want to grab something that, if it does hurt, it's
Yeah.
not gonna. Yeah. So I wanted to
Okay.
grab like this baguette here.
Yeah.
And then
And use it to like open the chest, just
and
in
then
Okay.
case
if
it.
attacks us, you're armed with a baguette.
Right.
You could say they're the breadwinner here.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh my god, the puns today, the puns. So yeah, you grab a baguette, you bring it close. Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, let's go. Okay.
With a 9,
Oh.
the chest to your left, this one, grabs for your arm.
Oh shit!
I throw the baguette
Look,
at it.
Victor says, "Oh shit!"
Give me a
out loud.
dexterity saving throw and beat a 15.
Yeah, but where's the? Okay, there it is.
11.
Oh,
It takes
no.
a chomp out of you.
Ow.
I will allow you to just keep... I don't want to go into a whole combat round at this point because we're still investigating, but I will give you 1d6 plus 1 damage. I think that that's probably fair. You have resistance against piercing damage, and this would be piercing. So this, halved and rounded down, would be 3 damage. You take 3 total damage. So you are now down to 34 out of 37. Thank you. Goodbye. However, the chest in front of you, Victor, you are stood by, makes no moves to attack you. This one.
But the one.
This one was the one that just attacked
stops
Ash.
Doing that.
So it stops with the baguette purely because DM intervention. I don't want this to turn into another round of combat that's going to take forever with a mimic. But essentially, yes, it is a mimic. The one in front of you and this one make no moves to attack you, and this one has unlocked. You are the person with the brooch.
Okay. Fuck. I think we probably should just. Okay.
And it was when you got near it with the brooch that it unlocked.
Okay. Then I will slowly.
I'm stepping back.
I'm gonna kind of indicate, to Ash to move back a little, and I'm gonna, while keeping an eye on Mr. Bitey Pants over here, I'm gonna lift the lid with my hand while holding the brooch and kind of hoping for the best.
Right. You stand in front of it. You reach out one hand with the brooch in the other. Probably feeling a bit clammy, if not sweaty.
Mm-hmm.
You take your hand and just gently tap on the wood to see if it has any reaction. It doesn't. You reach your hand underneath the lip and gently lift it, looking left and right to see any reaction from the other chests. And as you push the lid open, you see 12,000 coins. 12,000 gold coins.
Holy
Ooh.
12,000 so that it is easily divisible by 6, by the way. Because I do not want to have to deal with that fucking maths. So, yeah, if you divide it, it's 2 grand each. But that's what you see inside of this chest.
I believe our money problems are over.
This is more than I had before we got nicked.
Now that it is
When-
open, I will give you another perception check. And I will also resolve the perception check from earlier with another thing.
Okay. Conceptual.
With a perception check of 5, unfortunately, you don't see much in way of like hidden compartments. And even if we applied that roll of a 2 to your investigation modifier, it wouldn't have made any difference. You still would not be getting that. You do, however, with your original roll of 19 on your perception check earlier, you actually do spot underneath the desk, hiding under the table away from everybody, a gnomish person who has been hiding there the whole time that you guys have been in the room. And every time I've prompted you to do a perception check, you've tossed it away and said, I want to check the chest, I want to check the bath, I want to check the thing outside. Because you all believed, Ash, with a 13, that everything was fine. So you spotted that there is a dude underneath the table who is holding onto one of the table legs and just trembling with both eyes closed.
Hello. I'll shout to everyone. Please, everybody stay calm. It appears we have company.
You guys outside hear that as well? Are you going to head back in?
And I'll kind of I'm not going to point at him like aggressively. I'm just going to kind of nod my head towards him.
Yeah.
Hello? I'm assuming you're the mayor.
What you get back is teeth chattering and the drip, drip, drip on marble of sweat.
Better than something else.
Okay.
Once we've had a brief discussion here, I'm then going to go back over to Aldrin to resolve the chest because I'm aware that I've left you hanging for a bit.
No worries.
I'm gonna slowly approach this little fella here. Is he as the very, very vague descriptions of the mayor we've had so far?
You've not really had many descriptions of the mayor so far. You've not spoken to anybody about
it. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Damn names. Write it down.
What I think is really funny is that somebody was sitting in the chair right by him and didn't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody looked. No one properly looked. You just did one perception check and everyone was like, okay, let's look at treasure. And that was that.
I'm gonna
get and didn't see him.
Before I walk towards him, I'm gonna unclip my my belt that I carry over my shoulder for my sword. And I'm gonna hand it to Ash and approach him.
I'll hold on to it.
Mr. Penrose Crockett, I assume? And I'm going to kneel right next to him, slowly. And try and be as unthreatening as possible.
Okay. So, let me see how I can... I don't think that it's a persuasion, nor is it a performance. I feel like this is an intimidation roll, but you have to roll a low one.
Oh, I have good intimidate. Fuck. Why am I an orc?
I mean, you have tusks and a sword and you're an orc. And you're 4 times this guy's size. So let's do an intimidation check and get below a 10.
It's one of my racial traits that I get proficiency in intimidation. Okay.
Below a 10.
Yeah, cool. Okay, you're sick.
Okay, he holds onto the wood even tighter. He just trembles so furiously. Will not look you in the eye. Won't open his eyes whatsoever.
Okay. Too quick. I apologize. And I'm gonna back up.
Victor.
Yes.
Here, take this back. Hold on to my staff, please.
Of course.
And I'm just gonna sit.
I take the
I'm
baguette.
gonna sit here. And I'm gonna say, hi, are you okay? I figure a bird is a lot less intimidating than a giant orc.
Give me intimidation and make it a low one. I said below 10, and unfortunately you've met a 10, so I'm not going
Oh,
to count that.
I-
He sees
All
large
right.
bird and equates you with other person. You've both been looting the chest of
All
someone
right.
in here, and he's onto
Well,
you.
I'm
We have
backing
4
up
tries
and-
left. Let's see if one of you
Next.
can be unintimidating enough to get this guy out of here and
Oh, no,
start
Ruby.
talking to you. Ruby goes up. You have cleaned
Hey,
yourself off.
I famously do terrible intimidation checks, apart from that one time.
I would say, though, that you have cleaned yourself off and are not stinking of piss, so that at least that gives you a little bit of an advantage over the others. So I will say that
If I was
you
to
just
help-
need to get below a 12.
Question,
you
if I
help-
helped
So if
Ruby, I
you
can
help
get
Ruby,
disadvantage.
I'll
Just
give
disadvantage.
Ruby disadvantage if you help Ruby.
I'll help Ruby.
Okay.
Excellent.
I don't need you to roll anything for this, Isabel. You get a 19, you're very... Okay, and then a 13. Even with a modified DC, you still can't go below it. He's sort of trembling and holding on even tighter at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I've just flanked him out of nowhere, and just Ruby probably doesn't even speak, just sort of stares and tries to smile, and it just fails.
Just sneak to the other side of him.
Cats can't smell that well either.
Just nothing but teeth.
Oh, what a vision.
Absolutely.
What an absolute vision. Teeth and claws.
Is
Okay.
anybody else less
Well,
scary?
we've got Briar
than
and we've got
dogs?
Aldrin. You just need to get below a
Right.
10 for Briar's intimidation, and Aldrin, you did wash as well, I believe.
Yeah.
So you would
I'm-
have to go below a 12 on yours.
I'm annoyed, so I'm taking the gold while they're doing
Yeah.
Aldrin gets a 6 and Briar gets a 3. The two of you walk
More
over.
potatoes.
The two of you walk over to Alistair Penrose Crockett, as is his full name, the gnomish mayor, and Briar with the knowledge of how to handle spiritual situations and people who are at their lowest ebb. Wounded people, dying people. You've trained in how to handle those and how to cross the boundary, so to speak. And Aldrin knowing how to handle toxicity and poison and venom, and knowing how to gently approach a thing so that it doesn't immediately become afraid of you and leap away. In an animalistic sense, it still applies here. The two of you approach Alistair Penrose and reach under the desk for him, to which he finally looks up at your... just no speech needed. You don't need to say a word. He just takes it from your silence that he is safe. And he reaches out both hands. You feel them incredibly sweaty, very cold and clammy. And you lead him out from under the table. Hello!
You feel like a frog, sir. Are you okay?
I'm not a frog! I'm a gnome!
Insight check.
through tears of laughter.
I'm joking, sorry. Sound like a frog.
Why are you here?
Well, we came through a little hole in the ground that had some sigils around it.
Came through the hole!
Yeah.
Why did you
We
come
found
through
a
the
little
hole?
star.
Oh no! There's never normally this many people here.
Oh. Okay. Well, sorry about that. We didn't mean to invade or anything. It's just we're trying to solve some mysteries right now and help some folks out.
I can help you with some of it, but not all. I don't know much.
Well, anything would be helpful.
What do you know?
Oh, well, we know quite a bit, but then quite not a bit, too.
He looks puzzled and scared.
That's why we're trying to find answers.
I think it's got something to do with that thing over there, but I never really knew. They didn't tell me a lot.
The horn?
They Say.
He pointed over towards the silver chest that you were about to investigate.
Ah.
The one that hurt your hand.
One that hurt your hand.
Gotcha. The one I gotta go back over to.
The one you've got to go back over to.
Okay. This thing.
Okay. So, Aldrin has got 30 HP.
Yep.
We're going to do this round by round. I am not going to do this in combat with, what do you call it? What's the word again? Blah, 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 blah. What's it called? Initiative, that's the one. We're not going to do it by initiative, but whoever wants to give Aldrin any blessings, any healing, any temporary HP, they might just keep Aldrin alive for long enough that they can get through this without dying after 10 rounds of holding on to this thing.
I mean, I've got one spell slot left, and I can do Cure Wounds.
Okay. So
'Cause we didn't
then
have a long
you can
rest or
do
anything.
cure wounds when you want to. But you, whoever wants to do this, you're going to need to do it when we get there. It's going to be
I mean, I can also do a guidance since it's a cantrip.
It's going to be a D6 every round.
Alright.
You've got 10 rounds to get through. The average on this will be enough to incapacitate you. So you are going to need some help.
Yeah.
What is everybody doing? And tell me now so that we don't have to retcon it later. Because we're going to get going as soon as you decide what you're going to do. So guidance, so you're doing a guidance to help with rolls, okay? Briar, are you doing anything?
Healing.
Healing. Okie dokie.
I'm going to be backup heals if need be.
Okay, so Aldrin is going to take 1d6 of psychic damage for every turn that they are holding onto this chest, and they have to hold onto it for a full minute, which is going to be 10 rounds. So 10d6 total. The maximum for this is 30. Without healing, Aldrin could legitimately fully die. That's why I'm giving you this information now, so that you know. But that would be the maximum roll 10 times in a row, so that would be hard to get. The worst case scenario, you die. Permanently.
6 times 10 is 60.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because it would be multiple. It would be twice your maximum HP.
Oh, gotcha.
So
gotcha.
if you go down to 0 and then you lose your maximum HP again, then you end up dead. Yeah, you fully die. Okay. So let's go for this. I'm going to copy and paste. It's going to be public rolls so you can all see. 4.
Ouch.
9.
Ouch.
12.
A little less ouch.
18.
Oof.
You've got 12 HP left. You're going to need to stay conscious to be able to learn this. So if anyone wants to heal, now might be the time.
I got nothing, I'm afraid.
Briar has just healed you for 11 and we were at 18. So we're back down to 7 HP off. Okay, so 7 damage after 4 rounds so far. That's 9 on the 5th round. That's 14 on the 6th. That's 19 on the 7th. Oh! That's
Ouch.
25 on the 8th. You've got 2 rounds left.
I'm casting my
Anybody
healing.
else gotta heal?
Yes, I'm trying to.
Thank you.
Okay,
Do we
so
have any
Briar
potions?
Good
uses
heal.
Cure Wounds with an 8.
1d8 plus my ability is 4.
Okay, so Briar has used 2 Cure Wounds and then you're using that. So we're at 25. You've gotten 4. Oh, you've rolled it. Okay, 1d8 plus 4. Okay, so then we've got 17 taken off again. That leaves you with 8 damage off. So you're at 22 HP.
Alright.
You cannot possibly fail this now. But we're going to go again. So it's going to be roll 9 and roll 10. That's 4 more damage.
Oh,
You managed it. You managed it. You're down to what? 18 HP now?
Yep.
So you've now got your max is the same, but you are down to 18 HP. You have managed to hold on to this chest for the full minute. That means that now you
Ooh.
get to recognize what the writing is on this chest.
Let's go.
Yeah.
You are going to be
That
able
is
to
worth it.
comprehend this completely, and I am going to tell you
Yeah.
what it says now.
Awesome.
As you hold on with Ash at one side and Briar at the other, like holding on, curing your wounds, healing you up, keeping you going, just through this
Teamwork.
minute of absolute abject agony and psychic agony at the same time. You can feel the piercing reaching of dark forces trying to bring your mind apart, to pull it asunder, to kill you where you stand, for even having the gall to touch this incredible mythic level chest. And for saying that you have managed to hold on to something at that level is a feat in and of itself. But as you open your eyes, with possibly tears dripping down your face for the fact that you've taken more damage than you had health to begin with,
Ouch.
you now see the writing on this chest for what it says. It says these words: fetters away, venom stopped, armies roar, Ragnarok.
Okay.
May I ask one more time,
Help.
please?
Yeah,
Wait.
it says fetters away, venom stopped, armies roar, Ragnarok.
Feathers away.
Is that the thing they say in Cool Runnings before they?
Yeah. This is a bobsleigh. This is when you activate it, it extends out. It's like an Inspector Gadget bobsled. Yeah.
Can I
They're the
just
Norse
ask?
bobsleigh team.
Yeah. A Norse
Uh,
bobsled team.
Can I just get one word again? It's
Yeah.
fetters away, venom stopped, armies something,
Raw.
Ragnarok.
Yep.
Roar.
Raw.
Okay.
Yeah, raw and dry.
Thank you.
No. ROAR.
Yes.
Yeah. Little
That's
in
great.
joke from
Thank you.
our other stream that we go to with Giddy, who's in the
Yep.
chat.
G'day.
Raw and dry. It's part of the fucking canon now. Ragnarok is raw and dry. No, so fetters away, venom stopped, armies roar, Ragnarok.
Alright, thank you.
So that's what you read on this chest. Well, at least you think it's a chest. You don't see any openings on it. But you have that knowledge. You'll keep that knowledge. But your ability to continue reading this over and over again will end in an hour, because the spell only lasts for an hour. But it's
I'm
carved into the
also gonna
metal, and
share it with
there's nothing
everybody.
there. Yeah, there's nothing there besides this and the four-pointed star. The four-pointed star does not seem to translate into any kind of language. It seems like it is a pictogram. It's more of a symbol that relates to a thing than it is a word in any language.
I'm gonna politely tap Aldrin on the shoulder. Are
From
you
all the
a-
way over there, I'm going to move you
I'm
over.
gonna walk over. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll walk over. Are you able to read teleportation circle?
I don't think so. That's sigils. So I
Okay.
can't quite read sigils. It's languages, though.
Ah,
Any kind of language.
this magic stuff
Um,
goes over my
but
head a little.
yeah, symbols are a different kind of case because it's technically not a language. It's a symbol.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Ignore my ignorance.
you
That's okay.
you've managed to crawl out of the sewers, wash yourselves, investigate the body in the mayor's office, find the brooch and take it with you, find your way to the teleportation circle, even without the footprints that led half the way there, get through the teleportation altogether into this other realm. You're not quite sure what realm you're in right now. It certainly doesn't feel like
No.
Alandressa. Oh, pardon me.
Bless
Certainly
you.
doesn't feel like
Bless you.
Alandressa. Thank you. It doesn't feel like Alandressa. The sky is a different colour, for one. And you have found yourself face to face with the gnomish mayor who fled the scene of the crime before. what are your priorities now? I asked at the start what your time critical items were and what your priorities were. I guess we need to re-establish that now, don't we?
Yep.
I think
And-
we may
Thank you so much.
need to talk to our friend over here
Yeah.
before he vanishes again.
I see what you're saying,
Aldrin's
Lex.
also gonna
Like
eat
hieroglyphs
some
are still
cheese and
words.
bread.
That's not what we're saying
I'm
here. This is
gonna
actual like a
offer my
drawing
hand
of a
to
thing.
like help him up into a chair, and see if he takes it, if I may. Please, please join us. We mean you no harm.
Yeah, he climbs into the chair next to you. No
And then
roll
I'm gonna
needed.
go and clean myself up and attempt
Great.
not to scare him any further.
Soap and
I am also
water
gonna
flow
go clean
freely
myself
through the
up.
fountain.
As would I.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
I just sprint over the table.
So I think that leaves Briar, who hasn't cleaned himself up. So, Briar, you still smell faintly of piss and a little bit of shit. Oh, little cheeky shit.
None of that washed off in like the ocean. When
Well,
we
like I
were-
said, it's stagnant water. It's filled with mud. It's not exactly going to completely clean you. You know, it's not like you're going through with a Tide Pod. You need to like actually scrub with soap and stuff. A proper bath. And you found it here. This fountain produces soap when you think about it.
Why am I
But you need to
imagining-
actually climb in and do the thing. You can't just sit there on the
Yeah,
chair.
100%. I'm doing
Yeah,
that.
good stuff.
Why?
Good
I'm
stuff.
imagining Ash doing it like those birds do in bird baths sometimes, and they just go wiggle, wiggle, flap their feet.
Yeah.
Don't you judge me.
I mean, Ash, having
That's kinda
feathers, you
racist.
are technically kind of waterproof, but, you know, birds
That's
still
why
get
I'm
covered in
going
shit.
Get in there.
Birds still get covered in shit, and they still have to clean very regularly to get rid of it all. So you're still going to have some, like, crap all over you. So this mayor, this gnomish mayor, sits down, head barely even reaching above the edge of the table. Clearly these seats were made for larger people. You can tell by the size and by the wear on the seats that some of them have shelved some large arses in their time. The guy sits down, doesn't really even seem to make a dent in the cushion, and can barely see over the table. What are you all saying as four of you bathe in front of him?
Please excuse us a moment. We had a little incident in the sewers.
Yeah,
earlier.
you say this quite subtly, but with the amount of splashing going on, I can imagine Victor being like, "Please excuse us."
Yeah, he's saying it clearly. Yeah.
yeah. Ruby has approached
Ruby-
his side.
Yeah, Ruby would like to ask the mayor a question now everyone has gone away. So this is intended to be quietly so no one else can hear while they're having a splish splash.
At the distance that you're at, I'll allow you to make this stealth roll with advantage because you are 30 feet away from everybody.
Thank you.
And nat 20, nobody can even tell that you've said a word.
God damn it! I can read lips.
Yeah, but
We had a complete
she can
thing
hide her
about
head
being-
under the table.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm watching. I'm not paying attention.
So Ruby's going to come up to the mayor, turns her back to the group so
Mhm.
no lips can be read, and just asks the mayor quietly, "What do you know about Sir Curly and his trade?"
I am going to roll for him to see how stealthy he can be. Because that might change things. He is a commoner. He will need to roll well. I'm going to say that because you have given him a nat 20 of stealth, that he is going to also roll with advantage, but he's not going to add any bonuses to it. He got a 19.
Okay.
So he rolls a 19 on his stealth. Everybody else is kind of focused on either washing or Aldrin probably looking through their bag of cheese now. And this guy, very stealthily, says back to Ruby, "What the word?"
You mean the world,
I-
right?
I mean the what?
The word. He
The
sells
word?
construction materials.
No. I don't think that's all he sells.
Oh, right. I think I might know what you're talking about. He sometimes had meetings. I didn't really much like listening to it, though. It's other people's business, you know.
Sometimes you did then. What did you hear?
Well,
He goes all flush in the face, looks very sheepish and sort of ashamed.
I guess I did hear that there were shipments, but I didn't know how many.
How many shipments or how many were being traded?
Both. He had a way of speaking, you know. He had one of those voices that you couldn't forget. And he had a way of saying things without saying things. It's one of the reasons he was so good. I'm pretty sure he had some shit that he kept in that chest over there. I don't know if you found it, though.
Which chest? The
Second one from the
silver or
left.
one- Second from the left. That's the one we got the coins from, right? Just
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, so when Victor did the perception check, it was a 5. I think,
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Okay.
So
I will
I'm not scrolling
say-
all the way back up.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shall I go have a look at his chest then?
Sure.
Sorry, that was to the mayor, not to you. I didn't mean to do it in
Oh,
that
right.
way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm open to it. You could do whatever you like with me. As far as the mayor's
Sorry.
concerned, I guess the mayor returns.
I mean, I guess. What you looking for? If you don't mind my asking.
What do you think I'm going to be finding?
I don't know. I try not to know.
A mayor who tries not to know. Well, isn't that a stellar representation of Dreedle?
Well, I mean, probably. Dreedle's a bit of a shithole.
It's a bit of a literal shithole. Anyway, let me go check out this chest.
What do you mean?
Thank you for what you've given. What do I mean? Ruby's gonna full on deceive now, so I'm happy to roll a
Okay,
deception.
roll a deception, and he's going to roll an insight. He has a flat roll because he is just a regular guy. He gets a 7. So what are you deceiving with?
Oh god, what am I deceiving with? I have a feeling that Frieden Ratzenberger may be deposited somewhere within that city.
Well, I mean, I didn't much like the guy, but I wouldn't call him shit.
I would now. On that
This-
note, Ruby is just going to walk off.
This feels kind of awkward.
He just stares at
Cool.
you, like, eyes darting left and right.
Gone. Walked off. Gone.
Okay.
I'm going to do a perception check on this chest, if this is the one you mean, in the second from the left, right?
Yeah, sure.
And I have a feeling I've used my 10 in cloak perception check for this day, so I'm just going to
You
do
have?
a flat perception check.
Okay.
Really vaguely better than Victor's.
Very middle of the road, a 10. You can tell that this thing was open earlier. It seems that when Victor has walked away from it, that it has closed. And they all seem very still.
Can I pat the chest on the, just pat it, like Ruby, because Ruby wasn't in the room when
Yeah.
it opened, so just wants to pat it to try and get a sense of how dense it is, that type of thing.
Yeah, sure. As you reach your hand towards it, make a DC 15 dexterity save.
Lovely.
Okay, you manage to pull your hand away just in time as the teeth of this mimic go to grab you.
Cool. Ruby's going to call to Victor. Victor, are you able to help me opening this chest again? Please. I just want to have a check. I just want to check it out.
He like finishes tying the ribbon round his hair after he's washing the piss out of it. And he's like, yeah, yes, of course.
Nice, nice.
And
Classy.
Thank
Yeah, he's
That's
tying
a
ribbon
classy
around his
guy that
rat
uses
tail.
a ribbon
Yeah.
after washing piss out.
Yeah.
That's classy.
He
Okay,
wants to look nice.
I'm
So-
concerned that there's piss in your hair because we were only up there ankle deep.
I know I fell in. I fell
Yeah.
in.
Oh
Fell in.
yes,
Um,
you did sneak attack.
Yeah,
Sorry.
fell in.
I didn't fall. I sneaked
No,
in
yeah.
the piss.
He was up to his eyeballs in it basically to
Yeah,
try and
my-
hide away from a
Yeah,
giant
my
crocodile.
rat, my
Not a
rat
good
tail
image,
was
not a
piss
good
soaked.
image.
Yeah.
Mm.
So as you walk up to it, again it glows, it settles down, the teeth vanish, and it becomes a regular chest again. The other chests are still unusually still, but this one, second from the left, again, as you reach your hand towards it with the brooch in your other, it does open, it does unlatch, and you are able to swing it open without any trouble. You can see that
wanted
there
to-
is still, I'm assuming that you haven't scooped out the 12 grand since you immediately saw the mayor. I think it would be a bit weird trying to coax him out if you were trying to scoop up 12 grand at the same time.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. So the gold. Yeah. I'm like, you wanted to look. We have ourselves quite a bit of gold here. Is please. It may be dangerous for you to put your hand in without this. And I'm just going to present the brooch. I'm going to pass it to her basically.
Okay.
Thank
Ruby.
you.
How
Ruby says thank
how
you.
how much do you think you are just trying to conceal your motives here, or are you just openly looking for this paperwork?
Just gonna not gonna conceal at this point. Just gonna have a
Mhm.
look, basically, because it's
Okay.
a chest with loads of shit in. Let's have a look.
Do you suspect there's something more in here?
I more suspect that everything in this room is not as it seems.
Okay.
Okay.
Then I can assist if you.
Yeah.
I'll happy
Well,
for the assist.
Okay. So then, Victor, you
Then
just need to
I'll-
get a 12 on an investigation check, and then you can give Ruby the help action.
Oh yeah.
You got a 25 on your own. That's great. Ruby gets a nat 1 on the first roll, and a 10 on the second. We clearly did this the right way around, guys. We clearly did
Yeah,
this
that
the
was
right
not
way
the
around.
right way around to do that, was it?
So Victor is
I already checked
exceptional
that.
at helping. Yeah, you did already check. Victor is exceptional at helping. Ruby, less so. I think that's the fairer way of saying that. So yeah, your first fumblings with that nat 1, you sharpen yourself, you sharpen your resolve with the help of Victor, and as you start to root around, you do notice that there are some maybe hidden boxes somewhere, but you've no idea how to access them. You're just aware that they do exist in this chest, but it's just a case of finding how to open them.
Yeah, Ruby wants to mention that to Victor. Just, hey, so
Okay.
I don't think it's just gold in here. I think there are some other things we can check out as well.
Okay. Show me.
I will try
I'll-
and empty the
I'll-
chest out as
I
well as I can.
I touch the brooch
Okay.
at the same time. I'm like, excuse me, I'm not trying to. I just saw this chest bite our friend earlier.
Right? You both hold
Okay.
on to this brooch at the same time, and you're able to lift up the chest and tip it up. The gold spills out onto the floor, and you do notice that there are perhaps a couple of compartments that don't align with the outside extremities of the chest. Like maybe there might be some hidden linings on the inside.
Okay.
Again, it's hard to know without just, you can't just like brute force those things open. You need to actually like look for seams or clasps, hidden areas for keys, that kind of a thing, right?
Do I need to? What would I need to roll to try and get them open or locate them or figure that out?
I mean, it really depends on what you're trying to figure out. Are you prioritizing Arcana? Are you looking for a magical thing here, like a speak word and enter? Or are you looking for a hidden key? What in particular is
I'm not very,
Victor's priority?
I mean, they were opened by magic, but I think kind of instinctually I would look for like a physical mechanism to get them open.
Okay.
Just kind of instinctually.
Give me another perception check, then.
Sorry.
Another perception check.
Mm-hmm.
Nat 1.
Oh.
With your perception check, unfortunately, you reach your hand in and you're able to break something that you're sure might help in the mechanism of one of these openings. You sort of reaching your hands around and clumsily break off a small, flimsy little piece of something. You're not sure exactly how that related to the opening, but there was something in it.
Okay.
How many of the little boxes were there, by the way?
Little boxes, by which you mean?
How was it? Just this one box or compartment?
As in,
sorry.
compartment. So, I mean, you didn't really get high enough for me to tell you much about it. You got a 10.
That's fair. I was
So,
just hoping
yeah.
I could just shout Aldrin over to come melt something. That's basically where my brain was going.
Well, I mean, my mind went there as well. What I would say to that is
Melty?
that if you do melt, then you are potentially going to damage the contents in some
Yeah, I know.
way,
That's
shape,
what I
or
then
form.
thought.
You might get
Yeah.
you might get all of what's in there, but it might not come out complete, if that makes sense.
No, that's fair.
Um,
Am I able to do a perception check on a compartment as well?
I can give you another perception check now that you've turned it upside down. Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
going to keep brute forcing this until you end up with more and more perception checks, aren't we?
okay, let's
Okay, an 18 perception check does give you one of these side compartments, yes. And it is not the one that has been damaged or destroyed, whatever extent to which Victor has done that. You manage to open up one of these side pockets, and you get some images, some what look like sort of the fantasy equivalent of like photographs. Almost like somebody has done like a scrying spell and then been able to scribe exactly down onto sheets so that it looks like a photograph, like perfect representation of what was there in the moment, without the need for, Polaroid or silver nitrate and all of that mechanical stuff. So these images, it seems, are incriminating evidence against Big Red. The kind of thing that a blackmailer would hold. You recognize, Victor, in looking at these, you recognize immediately a young Little Red Riding Hood, that is. The person that grew into Big Red. You can see that these are images taken from outside of a cottage. You can see that they are a cottage within some thick woods, because you can see through the opposing windows as this person's looking in through one. You can see trees and trees and trees going on forever on the other side. So it seems like this might be an isolated cottage. The image also shows a Little Red being chastised by a grandmother who looks identical to Ruby, if not a little bit older. And you see more images of Little Red walking out and becoming a werewolf and murdering the grandmother. Other images show the woodcutter helping to remove the evidence. I think
What woodcutter look like?
Just woodcutter. They're just a regular human. They're probably
Looks like me.
either old or dead by now. But no particular distinct features. Just look like a regular person in work clothes with an axe. But you can distinctly tell who Little Red is. Victor, give me a history check.
Okay. Oh, come on.
You're not quite certain on the full history behind Big Red's story. I would imagine that one of the others might have some of that information. They might have heard tale of Big Red and their exploits. Ruby can give me a history check if you wish.
I was about to say, is that something I'm gonna?
You've far travelled. You might have heard tell of the Big Red and all of their doings,
I
and
don't know
that's an
anything.
8.
Just another tabaxi, man.
So yeah, neither of you really understand exactly what's going on here. You don't really get the full knowledge and understanding of what's happening.
Okay.
You could figure it out yourself by just speaking it out. I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or not in this case.
Yes.
But
Ruby will.
other people in the party might be able to help.
Yes. Perhaps we should keep hold of these and look at them a little later with our friends.
I think so. I mean, this is what Merlin spoke about,
I
right?
mean, I mean this in every politeness, but this looks an awful lot like you.
Yeah, this is what Merlin said.
So bring it back to
and
Merlin then.
It contradicts this.
Are you all stood
I
around
would think-
discussing this now? Because you can do your checks now if you wish.
Oh, I mean, if
Okay, Aldrin gets the 13.
yeah, we'll show them.
Yes.
Dirty 20. 16. And last one. Are we doing one for Briar, or are you not? You're not thinking back on it. Oh, 21.
Yeah.
There we go. There we go. So between Ash and Briar, the two of you are able to piece together the natural side of the stories and the sort of city side of the stories. I think, Briar, you probably heard a lot about Big Red's rise within the city itself, because that was kind of where you did your learning and you were raised by your parents. Whereas Ash, you were more of the outcast in the forest. You heard like the natural side of things, as in, this is what happened in the forest. This is what happened around the forest. This is what happened at the cottage, blah, 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 right? So between all of you, you're able to piece together this story. And I think that, Isabel, you start to notice a lot of this within your book as well. That there are predictions in this about certain elements to do with Little Red Riding Hood and the actual story. That the hood hides more than the head. That kind of thing, right? And basically you end up, that's like, you know, one of the things written in one of the prophecies. So basically between all of you in the next sort of 20 minutes going over this, just discussing it, while
Alistair Penrose
is over on the chair just chilling, eating some bread, you can piece together the actual story of what was happening here. You could tell that Little Red Riding Hood was infected by lycanthropy, was a werewolf. Did go to visit Grandma, but Grandma was not the sweet, lovely person that the Ruby Joy that people got to know and love, and you know, this public figure that people knew so well. Unfortunately, being a public figure, there was a lot of scrutiny when, unfortunately, Little Red Riding Hood turned werewolf and killed her in a fit of rage. The woodcutter, who was in love with Little Red being of, you know, of an age to court a person, was young but not that young, so we're not dealing with anything like that. Don't worry, no trigger warnings. The woodcutter, of course, being in love with Little Red, came along and helped to cover this up. Started coming out with these wild ideas, perhaps, and fabricating stories, perhaps, and this is where the story came out and became public knowledge, and is why Little Red became a folk hero of sorts. And that's how they climbed the ranks in business and in capitalism, etc. In being this amazing business magnate, this hero of a story of a big bad wolf, and the big bad wolf tale being such a widely known thing. It's not so unusual in a world where there are literal Norse demigods which are enormous wolves, that a big bad wolf would exist, right? Well, this lie about the big bad wolf that they created to cover up a moment of weakness on Little Red's part that was born of love and of companionship between these two people. They decided, or rather Sir Curly decided, that this would be the perfect ploy. He had been trying to get rid of his two brothers from out of the family business for a long time. And this was the blackmail that he needed to keep Little Red quiet about the fact that he was going to use the exact same lie to cover up the murder that he then did to his two brothers, giving him the business all to himself. If it wasn't already clear from the fact that Sir Curly was trading in slaves, we think, Sir Curly was a piece of shit. Just a thoroughly reprehensible person with no moral compass, an amoral person altogether, and just a son of a bitch to add to all of it. You've now managed to find a lot of history here. You found out who exactly Ruby Joy was. You've seen image evidence, maybe not photographic, but, you know, essentially that Ruby is essentially a clone. This has now corroborated what Merlin was saying. The fact that the big bad wolf was all a fabrication in the first place, and as Tats has rightly said in chat, Little Red was essentially the big bad wolf themselves. This is why, Victor, it makes sense that all of these silver things that were presented as gifts and trophies and rewards of being, you know, a high station in business were all kept in a side cabinet away from the touch of one big red. This is why it seemed that perhaps their head was removed with silver and not with a regular blade. A lot of this is starting to add up, and a lot of this information is starting to find its way out. Maybe this is information that you might want to approach the authorities about so that they can start this investigation fully and not just at the hands of 6 wanderers. Maybe this is something that you might want to go and confront somebody about face to face. Maybe you want to go down to Lindborough Port and intercept this ship. Maybe you've got a lot of things here that you need to discuss, and maybe a few of you should keep away from those fucking chests, because when you don't have the clasp, clearly they turn into mimics and will kill you.
Okay, all right.
But before you get onto any of that, I'm afraid we're going to have to take a week's break. We're going to have to deal with that next session. It's the end of this session.
Okay.
Anything pressing that anybody wants to do? One final check before we end. No discussion. We're not going to continue this conversation. We can pick it up next time. One last, yeah.
One last
I think Ruby is so covered in soap all over the floor from everybody splashing. It's a really bad place to do another backflip, and you end up trying to do a backflip and unfortunately end up on your head with a nat 1.
Okay.
Aldrin doing an investigation check on what?
Are there any frogs here?
Frogs. You know from experience that if you basically think to the fountain, give me frogs, that you'll get frogs from the fountain.
Oh, these things.
Woohoo!
Everywhere.
Frogs.
Cool.
So Giddy in the chat is saying, someone do a check. So somebody, god damn it, do a check.
I'm gonna go over and make sure that the poor mirror is okay.
I did an intelligence check. I'm smart.
Someone ask the Kermit fuck something, we're being told.
Yeah, I said I'm asking him if he's okay, and I'm doing a perception to see if he's lying to me.
It would be an insight.
Oh, crap.
So that would be 10 plus your modifier, because you've already rolled it. So what's your insight modifier? Plus 6, it's the same. So yeah, you end up with, you ask him if he's okay. He answers,
I guess I'm alright.
and he's going to roll either persuasion or deception. I'm not going to tell you what. And he rolls a nat 1. He is not alright.
He's in fact half left.
Yeah.
Having
I love that Ruby is walking around on her head still.
Yeah, I forgot what the control was, so I just went with it.
I'm just going to zoom in on this for everybody at home. There you go.
Having been repeatedly bested by this chest,
Yeah.
I'm going to have one last attempt to unlock its secrets, if I may.
Just be careful, it might bite you again.
Okay, before you roll this, Victor, I need to let you know. This is essentially, if you fail at this check, and it's going to be a high DC because you've repeatedly tried this, it's going to be a DC of 18. If you fail on this check, you will destroy whatever is in that compartment. And this is potentially information that is important to Ruby. So with that knowledge in hand, I will allow you to do one final investigation.
Aldrin, help him.
Everybody's rushing to help. One of you can give the help action. You will need to roll to see if you can beat a 12.
Who has the highest investigation?
Everyone's giving guidance.
I have
Guidance,
a
guidance,
plus
guidance.
4.
Cool,
I have plus
guys.
4.
Yeah. Gotta give you that extra boost.
Okay, Aldrin rolled a 6. That is not enough to give you advantage. Victor, you will have to roll this flat, but you will roll it with guidance.
So he puts the brooch in his teeth.
It's going to be a plus D4, so add a D4 to this
Yes.
when it asks you.
Takes his glasses out of his inside pocket and pops them on.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
25! I was going to say as well.
It's plus 1d4.
Yeah.
I'm plus 1d4. I was going to say, if you
I didn't.
Yeah,
type that
minus
down.
the minus. I was gonna say if you were gonna go to that much effort, I was gonna give you advantage with it as well. Anyway,
This is concentration. It's 26.
so yeah, and with advantage you would have had an 11. So
Yeah, no,
26
thank you.
is much better. With a 26, thankfully you're able to find just the right part of the side compartment where that clasp had snapped off. You can just feel the faintest little hair of a thing against your finger, and you're able to just catch your nail underneath it just enough to pull the thing open and find a large dossier on a shipping business of slaves.
Okay.
Thank
cool.
you, everybody.
Yeah,
This was a lot of
anyone
fun.
watching sees Victor do like a little fist
Yes.
bump to himself, like yes.
Yeah, dap yourself up.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, high five.
Nice.
Come on.
High fives all
Great
around. And
job.
soapy high fives. You don't smell of piss anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, backflip. Yeah, we got
No
25.
more pissy high fives.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, I asked the group, does anybody want to do a check, any check that you want to do? And Ruby, with no prompting, did an acrobatics check when everyone was in investigation mode. So we were just like, oh, so I guess you just do a sick backflip in the background while everybody else is doing everything else. And so now Ruby is just doing constant backflips. And you only ate shit once, apparently. So, you know.
Mhm.
Victor
Victor
even
joined
managed
me
to
this
do...
time.
I think
We
Victor...
we did like a secret handshake of just backflips.
Yeah, legit backflip for style. I think that Victor probably doing an acrobatics check. I'm not sure that you would be doing a backflip. I think the splits are more in Victor's style.
Woo.
And then
Yeah.
flicks his
Oh,
hair back because it's
it
so
would
wet.
be the bird that does a nat 20 on acrobatics, wouldn't it? The bird just does a backflip because it can fucking fly, and it
God.
makes it look sick as fuck as well. You ever seen a pigeon do a backflip? It looks sick as fuck.
Dexterity is not my
Isabel.
thing.
Pigeons are really sick.
Isabel.
Isabel, a barbarian, a bookworm barbarian, probably not the best acrobatic person in the world.
Yeah, I
Um,
just flip on my butt.
And as you fall on your butt, the gnome runs over to you.
Hello, are you okay? I can help you up.
I'm good. Just only figured you're just my pride.
Nice.
As I get up.
And that's going to be the end of our session. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Thank you for being here. It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed this. And I know that you all had such worries going into this session that there was going to be something to do with the fucking stranger. And let's just say that
We
might
met
all be to
Kermit.
come. And you've met...
Kermit the Frog here.
no, you've met an aside of Kermit that is not Kermit, but is
It's
maybe
Kearney.
something else.
Yeah.
Kearney. They've said that it's a
Kermit
mixture.
Kearney.
Yeah, chat has decided that it's a mixture between Kermit the Frog and Ernie from Sesame Street. I think that's the Ernie.
It's
So
the
they've called
alternative
him-
world version.
They've called him Kearney. So his name is Alistair Penrose Crockett, nickname Kearney.
I like in the credits where they put things in brackets saying what the nickname is.
Right.
Sometimes.
So this would be Alistair Kearney Penrose Crockett. Love it. Really rolls off the tongue, isn't it? And of course you got the text, Fetters away, Venom stopped, armies roar, Ragnarok. Which, by the way, I did not anticipate you using... I didn't anticipate you using comprehend languages, so I had to write that on the spot. Which is why I gave you some time so that I went and wrote it.
Did you?
Uh,
Yeah, that was awesome.
So yeah.
Roger needs a long rest, though.
Yeah. I have expended my spoons. I am melting. I need to put on my fan, and I am not going to inflict that on the microphone. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say thank you, everybody, for being here.
Oh, thank you.
Do we have anybody that we're going to raid out to here? Ash. Tats. Ash Tats.
I posted it in your chat.
You're raiding Void's Mind. Okay, we're going to
he's
raid
playing
Void's
a little
Mind.
scary game, but he's a pretty cool dude. He cooks fantastic stuff.
You always introduce me to very cool and wholesome people, and I will always trust your judgment. So we're going to raid out to Void's Mine.
I'm gonna raid out
anybody?
to the Greek place near my house and get some food.
Nice.
Anybody who is in my chat can use this command or this command. And we will see you soon then, guys. Thank you so much. That's been brilliant and hilarious
fun.
in equal measure.
Awesome session.
And yeah, I'll see you next Thursday. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone. And
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Great as ever.
Thank you.
I assume that you were laughing to yourself for the voices there, Steve.
Yeah, I moved my mic. I messaged Don about it. I was like, I'm dead.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, instantly. I'm like once, at least once per game. I messaged Don saying, if
Love
I'm
you,
not
you
talking,
fucking
it's
giraffe.
because I am crying with laughter.
I don't know. I'm just a little man. I'm just a little
Stop.
guy. I'm just a little guy.
I'm really. It's like at the point where I can't have conversations with these people because
Yeah, I know.
it's like, oh, Victor's gonna go and do something else.
Well, we're gonna raid out in 3, 2.
Bye.
Be good to everybody, by the way. Be good to yourselves as well as each other.
Oh.
Bye, everyone.
Take care of your spoons.
Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. It's not done it. It's not done
It's
it.
not done what? The
It's
raid?
not done the raid because I took too
Yeah,
long
it-
talking to everybody. And so now I'm
did
not.
the raid.
Oh, did it
already
redo the
was
raid?
part of the
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah.
Wonderful. Love it.
We all just came through.
Love that. Okay, great.
Yay.
Well, that's a little bonus on the end of the recording then. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Alright. Catch you later.